Welcome to Oldsmobile 455. We're continuing the work on the ram air hood, and I had some new ideas. I was thinking about putting a disc over the top of the carburetor, but you'll see these float adjustment bolts get. When you even get a flat air cleaner, you'll see that this is stepped up. The reason there's the step is to clear these bolts. So we have to add on to this, weld it on, and then we got to estimate the height. Enclosure is not going to be perfectly level all the way around. It's going to be probably the highest in the back and progressively get smaller because the hood's coming down. This isn't, only. But when you close the hood, this thing's almost hitting the hood. So after we had made this piece, sealed it, painted it, we put this on, we put that filler panel up here and primer. When this thing gets done later on, it'll be all one same color. But for right now, it's just blacked out. And I'm gonna check right now to see if everything clears. Oh, we had to cut these bolts down too that were right here. That's what was hitting on here and was keeping it from just going down a little bit. Yeah. See how hard it is. Yeah. That's cool. Well, they were sticking up just enough to tag the metal up here, so we had to cut these real thin. So now we gotta make the base. So when we close this base will be sealed into here, and then the air will come in, go right into the air cleaner. So we want to use this outside ring. We're going to cut this one off. Does that look nicer? Well, this is what we want, and this is where we're at on the carburetor. So we got to make a ring. I'll clean this up, and then the piece that we make is going to be like a shape of a tire. Make rosette welds and then attach it, and we have to have sides come up. Well, you can see all this air has to go taking corners to get in, and we're going to have it going straight in like that, so it's going to be better. All right, if you've ever worked with tin snips and you're struggling with them and you're getting the job done, but it's a pain in the butt. This just makes everything a lot easier. I'm going to get rid of this. So here you see you got the manufactured part from the air cleaner that goes on the carburetor. We couldn't do this. Then you got the outside where the filter used to go on a 14-inch air cleaner. We couldn't make that corner because we don't have the tool. But we made a disc, measured it all out. We're going to drill holes for plug welds. We're going to attach these two. So then, underneath, and this will be connected then this will be connected to this. And that's it for the night. We'll have this, base ready, and then we're going to have to make the lip that goes up. Well, here's the finished product for the base. You can see where it's been spot welded. This holds the element. We're going to seam, you know, this has got to be ground, seam sealed, painted underneath, seam seal around here, and paint this too. It's got to be scuffed up to, you know, get paint to stick to chrome. Then you'll see how this is now wider than this hole. So the air cleaner in the middle has probably a gap of about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and on the sides where this tapers, it's narrower. So the lip basically just has to go a little bit beyond what the air cleaner is. Not that much. You got reinforcing ribs in the way. You can see the aluminum that's shiny that we didn't paint. And because of clearance issues, we got an item called the quick latch. Real simple thing. You're like, why couldn't I have thought of this? But instead of having a wing nut or a regular nut and having threads sticking up that the hood would vibrate against and, you know, poke a hole through the hood, or if somebody slammed it really hard, all of a sudden you got a point sticking through the hood. This is a widened, you know, washer that'll spread the load on this air cleaner. And you'll see this device, it's a ball, and when you press down on it, it, you know, releases it, and it looks real clean. And then I built a little Stonehenge here. I got modeling clay, and we already know that this is almost touching the hood. Half of it is into the scoop, so the buildup that we have to have on the base is going to be small. But we know it's going to be different. It's going to be deeper in the back, and the circumference we measured, and it's like 43.9 inches. Got to roll some metal around a tire, I mean a rim or something, make it round, and then tack it together. And then once we figure out, you know, this is going to get squished down, we'll cut it in place. And then we're going to have to give it some clearance too, because we got to get some kind of foam in between the side and sealing up on our plate of metal there. So what we're going to do is figure out what size this diameter is, get the drill bit, drill that out, and that'll fit flush in there. And then it tightens up with this ring, and then you can see how that fits, and then when you want to release it, it just pops off. One more. So we're going for every bit of space we can get, and you can see this is domed up, and this is diameter is just a little bit too small, so we might have to make either the whole diameter smaller so it fits down in, or just chamfer the leading edge like we're doing a 45-degree valve job on a valve, so this will sink down in. I haven't done this since 8th grade. That's enough. You can always take off more. Can't add it on. It was expensive. Now that the button is a smaller diameter, fits lower down, you know, because it's on a countersunk area, and this goes right over the top. So we're utilizing every bit of space we can have. We're going to install the ball stud now. If you look at this, you know, it's taking up space. You can't just say, oh, we have a stud that long, because it's not tightening up here, it's tightening down here. So you're going to have to figure it out. You see how this is totally flush, and that's like right up near there? And you can take the air cleaner off. How fast is this? There.
Is that thing worth it?
The verdict is in. For our purposes, it's okay. And for a show vehicle that doesn't want an ugly wing nut on it, it's okay, but how much was it? Wasn't cheap. All right, I'm gonna topple Stonehenge. We're gonna check for height on here. It might just knock them over. All right, you gotta get a steel ruler now and measure these. So the marking on here was in the front. We put them clays in there and we crushed them down, measured it, made a drawing of it, wrote the numbers down. Then we made a strip of 1 7/8 because that was our highest point. Made a band that went around there, taped it together, then just put it in here. We saw where the clay was, and then we had those numbers marked down. We wrote them and then connected the line. Now we're gonna cut this off, put the band back in there and close the hood, and we'll see what happens when we close on cardboard before we do it in steel. Now you see that little band sitting in the device that we made here, the base of the air cleaner. We're going to put it on the car now and then close the hood. And if this crushes down, it's a lot easier crushing paper than having metal all welded together. This is our first step.
Uh-oh. She really took a number there.
Better checking it with paper. So this is what we end up for what this base needs to be to seal to this underbody. We clearanced a 1/4 of an inch, thinking the engine rock and everything and the foam that's going to fit. So there's very minimal amount of distance between here and here, and we want to use foam. So the first thing I did is I just found a piece of foam. Drew the circle, cut it, and he goes, "That thing's gonna burn up." So I started putting black tape on it so it'd impede a fire if there was a flash out, like a backfire. Well, look at, you got a paper element here and that's not burning out. So I thought, black tape on it, it would keep it from burning, but it looks ugly. But it would work. I just do a better job taping. I'd have to sand this out with a roll of sandpaper, but he doesn't like this idea. I can show you how this crushes down. I can show you, it swishes. But it's white, and it's ugly, and it's big cells. If you sanded it, I just put it on the belt sander on the outside, and it's smoothed out. It looks smooth with black tape, but it's ugly. We went to Farm and Fleet, and they got the air conditioning area and the foam seals that you can put to try to keep the cold in the room and keep the hot air out. Took some super glue, glued it together, and we were thinking of putting that in here. You'd have to make a little ledge that would hold it, but this would be squishy, and this would work. But he's worried about a fire, so I says, well, why not just go order a part from Original Parts Group that was for a car that had ram air. So when you're getting a cowl hood for a 70s Chevelle, there's the regular old air cleaner. A lot of times guys would just take them air cleaners, cut off the snorkels and weld the little patches on there. Sometimes guys would just take the air cleaner and flip it upside down so the air cleaner breathed all the way around instead of just through these little restrictive snorkels. When they send this to you, it's in a box and it's all folded up and wrinkled. And I mean, it's got kinks in it, but it's bigger than what we need anyway. And we're gonna have to cut it to size, and we have to make like a lip that this will sit on. And you can see how this is molded so it went around the original lip of an air cleaner lid. And you put that on, and if it's the right size, it would pull it to shape and be round. For the meantime, I just stuck it around the air compressor tank. It's about the same size, trying to get it back to being round. I mean, it was really deformed before. After using the modeling clay, we came up with the measurement of the distance that is between the sheet metal and the lid. You can see how this thing's gonna touch it at least, but we want it to seal. So we gotta have it, you know, this will fold back when it comes down and hits it. And there's air in here. And you can see the distance. It will get compressed enough where it should seal good. Thinking that this lip clicks on around here. I mean, we're not the right size air cleaner here, but we're gonna have to cut it at the right diameter, but that's the way I think it fit. I'm bending this wire to the shape because if you look at this gasket, this is what we're going to want it to hook onto. You know? And we're hoping that we can get this welded onto here, and then it's going to hold that rubber lip. Make it so we're going to need to keep it down at the bottom, and we're going to need some nails or something to space it out, because we're thinking about having this out there so that when this comes down, this will rest on the inside and this will be clicking in on that rod. But, I mean, I feel sorry for anybody that had some Concourse LS7 Chevelle and they order this and it comes all wrinkled like this. I'm pulling it, trying to wiggle out the wrinkle and everything, but I mean, it's not even round. And we've had it stretched out, it was in the sun, put it around something like the air compressor tank. This is not a good setup. All right, try not to laugh on this, but we're using what we got. We just used double-headed nails that were the same, distance as, the wire laid right up on there. And you'll see where he tacked it to there and he tacked the rod together. Then we're gonna cut these all off. So this thing is so deformed that it fits on perfectly. When we're all finished, you'll see it. But it leans in. There's kinks in it that are really bad. We got a heat gun that goes so hot that will be on the low setting, and you'll have to get closer and pull. He's going to be pulling on one end, and I'm going to be pulling on the other, and we're going to try to relax this wrinkle in here.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
We might get longer.
The seal wasn't very good. You might have to replace it. Had it sitting in the car now for a couple days. Let's take a look at the finished product. Get the seam right in front. So I'm going to rotate that around there to the back. I don't know if it's going to break in or not. I can always get a new seal for it. But overall, it's looking pretty good. I think I'll toss the trouble light in there. We'll see if you can see any light coming up through that scoop. Not really seeing much on that side. Check this side. Don't see any on this side either. I think I'm gonna call it a done deal. But we might be looking at a new seal at some point. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.